Hello everyone, I'm Greylook, thank you for joining me, and welcome to Factorio for this series that I don't know what we're going to call yet. But first I wanted to speak a bit about the mods that I'm going to use, because there are quite a lot here. So first of all we have our aircraft mod. It's just an easy, fast way to get around. When you get a large rail network, there will be some quite large distances between all your resource outposts, so an easy way to get around is just such a nice thing to have. I have some lights, a light mod that just illuminates a larger area around me at night. It's just so much easier to see, and yeah, I don't really want to experience the night. Belt brush allows me to put down several lines of belt next to each other without having to run back and forth, putting each line down by themselves. So I can make my whole bus, or at least 4 lanes of the bus, with one run. Buffs adjustable inserters is just a way to allow my inserters to not have to go all the way 180 degrees with their resources, so I can make 90 degrees inserters or even 45 degree inserters, I believe, maybe even smaller angles than that. It's just, it really should be in the base game. It makes no sense that you can't just move part of the way around your center. Bob's assembly machines adds 3 more tiers of assembly machines. In the standard game there's tier 1, 2 and 3. Now we have 3 more that are a lot faster. Bob's electronics mod adds a lot more complicated, I think, circuits and electronics in general. There will be a lot new recipes here that I will spend a lot of time messing up. Bob's functions library mod is just a library for some of all of his mods, so it's needed. Bob's greenhouse mod is for manufacturing wood. I know I usually hate wood, but for some of Bob's mods, you actually need wood for your production. So we need a mod to be able to automate it, instead of us having to run around and cut down wood and have to run further and further from our spawn. Logistics mod adds a lot of stuff. So if we go through the list here, 2 more tiers of belt, purple belt and green belt. They're a lot faster than normal belt. It also adds a tier 0 belt, but I have disabled that. I don't want a slower belt than the yellow starting belt. I really dislike that, to be honest. I don't think there's a need for it. You don't have that few resources, and it just complicates all of the recipes. It adds more inserters, of course. Faster inserters, faster stack inserters. Yeah, it's just nice. Yeah, and it replaces long-handed inserters with normal inserters that you can extend. There are more tiers of chests. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to use those, but they're there. It adds some more locomotives, faster locomotives. We have 3 tiers of locomotives. Tier 1 is the normal, and then we have 2 tiers that are faster. And there's also some armored trains, but I'm not going to use those. It adds some more pumps, faster pumps, more effective pumps. Adds more types of logistic and construction robots. Each tier is faster, so we will get quite a lot of fast robots. It adds more roboports types, and the roboports are modular. It adds more storage tank tiers, and it adds some different pipes. Usually I think I just go with iron pipe as usual, but maybe we'll use some of the ones from here. Bob's metals, chemicals and intermediates mod is just adds a lot of stuff. It changes the whole game, to be honest. We have aluminium, cobalt, gold, lead, nickel, glass, silicon, titanium, silver, tin, tungsten, lithium and zinc. And all of those have to be mined and smelted and processed. Some of them will have to be what is it called, combined or smelted together in a new uh, furnace type. And yeah, that's just a lot of stuff. All the alloys, I think, is something that you need to combine metals for. Yeah, and there's just a lot of more materials and some, yeah, even gems. And there will be some liquid or fluid stuff that I'm going to hate, as I hate the fluid mechanics in the game, but I guess we can just barrel it all up and fly it around. So maybe we'll get through that. I hope so, at least. And some other types of gear wheels. I guess we'll need this for some of our data processing. Bob's mining mod adds 2 more tiers of mining drills. I think it's 2 more. Maybe it's a lot more than that. I'm not sure. It adds higher tier pump jacks. And it adds some advanced pickaxes for the player to be able to mine faster. Not that useful, but it's there. Bob's module mod adds more tiers of modules, and it changes the recipe of all of the modules, I believe. So we will have up to tier 6 modules, or maybe even tier 8, I don't remember. The thing with the modules is that I believe at tier 8, yeah, it is as tier 8 tiers, but at tier 8 I believe they are a bit overpowered, so I'll have to think about if I really want to use those. Bob's ores mod adds more ores, surprisingly. All of the more ores needed for the metals, chemicals, and intermediates mod are included in this. There are a lot more ores here than is really needed for that mod, but all of those are disabled. For now, at least. I'm not really sure. Honestly, I have no idea what all of those resources are used for, so I've disabled them for now, and if we need them at some point, then we can try and enable them, but otherwise I don't think we'll need them for this run. Bob's power mod just adds tiers to electric poles, to steam engines, to solar panels, to accumulators and so on. Just adds a lot more power stuff. Bottleneck is just a simple quality of life mod that lets you see on each production building if it is running, if it is bottlenecked somehow, if it has stopped running, or if it's missing resources to run. It's really nice to be able to see without opening a building if it needs anything. Even distribution is a mod that allows you to take a stack of coal, for example, and just evenly distribute it between, like this image suggests for furnaces. It is just a nice quality of life mod. Instead of having to put in like half a stack in each, then you can just take 1 stack and distribute between them. Factorio standard library. This is just a library used for some mod. I'm not sure which one actually, but I know there's one that needs it. Fully automated rail layer, or FAL, is just a really nice mod to put down your first rails when you only need 2 lanes of rail. This can do it for you, you can do it very quickly, and you'll see that in this run, definitely. Loader Redux adds loaders to the game. Loaders can take a full belt and put it into or output it from a chest or an assembly machine or whatever you want to put it into. It's just an easy, good way to have inline storage of items and such. Optera's library is something needed for another mod, it's just a library again. Same with Pega Athenium. It's just a library used for Pega dollies that allows you to put down an entity and move it around with your arrow keys. It's just quite nice when you like have a row of 5 building or something like that, and you just need to move them up 1 tile, all of them. It's just easy to hover over them and use your arrow keys. Resource spawner overhaul reworks how resources are spawned on the map. It's not that it's going to give you a lot more of them, but it generates them differently and keeps the patches a bit closer to, a bit tighter, I guess. Not the patches don't have a lot of outliers and small tentacles going out from them. RPG system just adds, well, levels to the game. Everything you do will give experience, and you can use those levels to gain a bigger backpack or run faster or have longer reach. It just adds some nice ways to early on get a bit more speed and extend your reach. I like that. I mean, it's alternatively I could just add a mod to add those as research, but I find this a bit more funny. Squeak through is just a mod to allow me to run between buildings that are put down right next to each other, and run between or through, I guess, a pipe. Warehousing mods adds warehouses to the game, surprisingly. Warehouses are just a 6x6 entity that is a large chest. It can't store unsurprisingly big amounts, but I believe it is right around the 6x6 chest size, what they would be, so 36 chests size. Water well is a water pump you can put down anywhere and you get water into a pipe. It's just because I like to only have water in my starting area. I don't want to have to use a lot of landfill. So I have water in my starting area, and then I use this for water anywhere else. I know that I could use trains to transport the water around, but I have tried to do that, and honestly, you're just going to need so much water that the water trains will fill up your train network. It's unbelievably much water you have to ferry around. But yeah, that's the mod list. I will put this in the video description. But yeah, let's see a bit about the map settings then. I have a string here that I'm going to use because I don't want to pull all these levers. So this is a modified rail world. The rail world is just low frequency, high size resource patches, but I've modified that a bit to be even less frequently and just have more richness. Usually all of these, if we take the rail world, we'll have a 33% and 300% and 100%. So if you would multiply all these, it would get you 100% of everything. Like 33% times 300% is 100%. You can do the math. And for mine, I've tried to keep that ratio, so it's just 17%, 300%, 200%. So I halved this, the frequency, and then I just doubled the richness. So there should be the same amount of resources on the map, just a bit further apart, and in resource deposits that aren't going to run out too soon. For the terrain, I've disabled water. That just means there's only water in the starting area. I have to have trees, unfortunately, otherwise I can't get the start going. I will need trees for some of the first research and so on before I can actually start producing wood myself. So I need that, but it's always set to the lowest scale and the lowest coverage. No cliffs, of course, because I hate cliffs. Moisture, I like grass, so they're just put all the way up. And terrain type I haven't really bothered with. Enemies, I have just disabled them. I don't want biters to steal my focus in this. I'm going to have quite enough to have my head working with just all the buffs mods. And I don't think I've changed anything in the advanced tab. But yeah, that's the settings, so let's get started. So here we are. We have generated our world, and what you look at that, that is quite a lot of resources. I've actually tested this a bit, and it's because of the resource spawner overhaul mod. I could disable that, but honestly I really want it for the resource deposits that are going to spawn further away from me, and honestly I'm okay with having a lot of resources to begin with, so I don't have to worry too early to worry about getting trains. So I'm going to live with this, and yeah, sue me. To begin with, we can already see that we have some resources here we don't know from a vanilla run at least. We have quartz that will become silicon ore apparently. We have tin ore. We have galena that will become lead. And that appears to be the new ones here. There are others I know, but we'll have to discover them as we go. And there's of course oil at our starting position. That should be thanks to the RSO mod, Resource Spawn Overhaul. But yeah, let's get started on this. The start is the same as with vanilla and so on. You have to get iron and copper to start your what's it called? Energy power production. And since we have trees, let's just use wood to power these to begin with. And let's go get some stone so we can make more furnaces and burner miners. So yeah, as always, this will be a slow start. So I guess we should talk a bit about what the goal is for this series. In my last series, the A Single Rocket series, the goal was to just launch one rocket and that's it. For this we're going to go a bit further, quite a lot further to be honest. I'm not entirely sure if we want to... that is so loud. Let's do something else while I talk. I'm not sure how much we're going to go for, but we will set some goal of an amount of science, space science per minute or second even. Something like 1,000 space science per minute is only... what is it? Is it one rocket or two rockets? Or half a rocket, I guess. How much science do you get from a rocket? I don't even remember. How silly of me. Is there any way to see even? I do not know. But anyway, every rocket will give either 1,000 or 2,000 research each. So a goal of one rocket every minute is... that should be easily obtainable, and I think the goal should be quite a lot larger than that, but I'm not entirely sure what it should be yet. Maybe... let's say one rocket every 10 seconds. One rocket every 5 seconds. Let's do that. That is a goal for now. One rocket every 5 seconds. That should give us a lot of science, and we should be able to get quite far into the research of... usually I use all my time to research to speed up my robots. But yeah, that's the goal. A rocket every 5 seconds. Let's go get some more stone. I have tried to play around a bit with some of Bob's mods before, but the last time I tried to use his resources, honestly, I rage quit at some point. It was just way too much information, and honestly, when you have to use a furnace that takes both a fluid and some solid material and outputs a solid material, that annoyed me quite a bit, to be honest. But I think we'll get through it this time and get further than that. It will be an experience. So the RPG mod just adds the screen. We can get health bonus, movement speed bonus, mining speed bonus, crafting speed bonus, reach distance bonus, inventory size bonus, logistics slot size bonus, or trash size bonus, and even robot follower counts bonus. Honestly, I'm just going to be going for movement speed, inventory size, and reach distance. It is quite bothersome to have to get this close to your buildings every time you need something. Especially when there's this far between your buildings. And just to showcase the even distribution, I just take some sort of stack of coal, and if I held control and drag my mouse over them normally, it was just put everything into the first one and the second one wouldn't get anything. This way I can just put all of it into, evenly distributed into these two. Or I could have used right mouse button and it would just distribute half of my stack into it. Or I believe actually half of whatever I have in my inventory. So even if I have more than one stack, it will use it all, if possible. So we are running in circles. But that's the start, I guess. I'm just removing these trees, as when we start getting more resources on belts, then we are going to want some space to move it around. Nice even distribution. Let's put down another one. And use wood for this. Just make some iron gear wheels, as we'll need them. Now, I was thinking about adding even more mods. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but there's some mods called Angels mods that, especially in the fluid division, adds a lot more stuff. But even just in the starting process, it changes that up quite a bit. You have to mine stuff, but then you have to crush it before you can actually get resources. And it's quite interesting, but I thought it was a bit much for this series, when I also have to fight with Bob's mods. I want to get a bit more comfortable with those first, and then we can add angels in a later series. Also, I should say that if I feel like adding more mods to this at some point, then I guess I'll just do it. I will of course say so in the video description, but yeah, I'm not locked to these mods. I might have got something or just feel like I need something more. I guess we should just put down a few more stone miners. And let's not use all our coal for this, because we will need to fuel some of our iron miners, I think, when we get down there. Yup. And I was too far away from this one, so I used all my coal on the other ones. Great. Let's just put down one more of these, which we can't fuel right now, but whatever. And let's put down some more coal miners. I think I saw earlier that this mod, these mods, one of them at least, also adds bigger stack sizes of, for example, coal. Yeah, usually coal only have a stack size of 50, but one of the mods changes this, and I'm honestly okay with that. That just means that I'll gather more trash before I have to get rid of it. There we go. That should be enough iron mining for the start, I guess. Then we just need some copper as well. We can go and put that down as soon as we get some coal. And let's start working on some of our power stuff. So we need a boiler and 2 steam engines at least. We're going to need an underground pipe. And we'll need a pump. And I need wood for that. So let's get a bit of wood. And we need wood for our first power poles as well, so we might as well get a bit more. So we have our stuff for our first power setup. If we get some more iron, we can even add another 2 steam engines. I'll just put this below the water, or south of the water, just because I don't really know which way we'll ferry all these resources. Stupid water. So yeah, that was the pigger dollies that allowed me to move my buildings. Oh, we should get some more coal, I guess. Yeah, let's go and grab some more. Get some more wood in the way, I guess. And I guess we should always be working on these at the start. We will need 10 of these to research automation, so we can start actually automating stuff. So yeah, the even distribution it does take from your inventory. Sorry. Yeah. So if I just use left mouse button, it will just use all of my coal in my inventory. I'm okay with that for now. Let's bring some power around the left. And let's build a research lab. And I think we should just get a power line going to the right as well, because we will need power soon for our coal miners. Good thinking, game. That's really smart. Well, I guess it couldn't satisfy anything, so it just decided not to. What if we move this down? Nope. Actually, let's just do this. I don't care too much about the look of these wooden poles. I'm not gonna be using them for that long of time, so. And let's put down our lab now. And start our research. And keep producing furnaces, of course. They're always very useful. And we could start making some inserters for our first automated factories as well. And we're going to need a lot of iron for our first belt production, so might as well take as much as possible. Let's go put these two down that I apparently forgot. Let's set this down here. And I suppose we should get our first mining drill started. At least until we can make some assembly machines. So let's think about a bit where we want our bus to be. Should we just do the same as last time and smelt it up here in vertical columns? Or should we do it out here? That is always a good question. I think we'll do it up here again. Again, as in I did it in my last series. I don't know if you watched it, but yeah, we'll build all of our resources up here and then we'll smelt it there. And our research is finished. What do we want next? Honestly, I never really remember what I want. There's some chemical processing with a chemical furnace, yay. I'm not sure what that's used for yet, so let's not research it. We need all of these, of course. Splitters and underground build for our smelting columns. Let's make some assembly machines. Which now takes wood, of course. One of the things that takes wood is basic circuit boards. Where those are? Yeah, they take a wooden board and we made that with wood, of course. So you do need some wood at the start, and we'll also need wood on our bus. At least I'll put it there. I don't know for how much other stuff than just this I need it for. Actually, that reminds me, maybe I need a mod. It's called What's It Used For? And tells you what stuff is used for. Which is really, really simple and really nice. But that's all we got time for in this episode, so thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.